In the endless dark of space, silence was normal. Stars burned quietly, planets moved in their slow, graceful orbits, and the great Galactic Council carried on with its politics, arguments and endless meetings. But one quiet cycle. Something changed. A weak signal appeared in the outer regions of the Orion Arm. A transmission so faint that most sensors ignored it. It came from a forgotten sector, a place marked unregistered and uninhabited. Yet the signal did not stop. It repeated again and again. And that repetition was what made the analysts notice. At first, the technicians thought it was background noise, maybe a reflection from a pulsar or a lost probe. But when they slowed it down, when they ran it through translation systems, the pattern became clear. It was language. And inside that signal, one word appeared again and again. Earth. The word had no translation in the galactic archives. No known species or planet carried that name. But as soon as it was spoken aloud, something strange happened. The lights flickered. The main archive system glitched. Files that had not been opened for 1,000 years suddenly unlocked themselves. A few counselors who were present in the data chamber felt a strange, sharp fear, the kind that comes without reason. They didn't know why, but the word Earth made their hearts race. The news spread quickly through the council station. Within hours, the High Council gathered in the main chamber, an enormous hall suspended between two stars, surrounded by light and holographic displays. "Show us the signal," demanded Chancellor Vorel, a tall insectoid being with wings folded behind his back. The projection began. A faint voice echoed through the chamber, distorted but clear enough to understand the rhythm of speech. "This is Earth." To anyone listening, the voice was human, or something close to it. One of the archivists, a pale creature with 4 eyes, gasped. "That voice format. It matches the old human dialects, the ones from the lost records." Whispers filled the chamber. Humans are extinct. They never existed. That name was forbidden. Chancellor Vorel slammed a clawed hand on the table. "Enough, we will not speak in rumors. Begin a full investigation. I want to know where this signal comes from." A silence followed. Everyone understood the risk of that order. Some things in the galaxy were better left untouched. A special investigation unit was formed, a small team of historians, scientists, and navigators. Their task was to trace the signal's origin. It led them far from the safe and known trade routes, into the dark edge of the Milky Way. Their ship, the Starseeker, jumped through hyperspace again and again, each time moving closer to the unknown. At first, everything seemed normal. But soon they noticed something strange. Navigation beacons that should have been active were silent. Whole systems were missing from the map, and sometimes when they looked through the observation window, they thought they saw shadows, not objects, not ships, just movement like something watching from the void. Captain Rala, the commander of the Starseeker, wrote in her log, "The crew is uneasy. They say the stars feel different here, as if we are being judged." Still, they continued. Scientists kept studying the transmission. Each loop carried new data, images, coordinates, even music. The music was haunting. Soft, emotional, filled with something almost human. One of the younger officers, a reptilian named Keth, asked, "Do you think they're still alive?" "Whoever sent this." The old scientist replied quietly, "I think they are waiting for us." After weeks of travel, the ship dropped out of hyperspace. Before them hung a small yellow star, surrounded by 8 planets. And there, the third planet, blue, white, and green, glowed softly in the darkness. It was beautiful. Scans showed oxygen, water, life. The readings were perfect, but something didn't add up. The energy signature was ancient. Too old, Captain Rala frowned. "This planet, it's alive, but it hasn't changed in millions of years." "That's impossible." Then the sensors picked up something else. Thousands of metal objects orbiting the planet. Not satellites, not debris, machines. Dormant. Silent. It was as if an entire defense network was sleeping above the world, waiting. On the Council's homeworld, the analysts continued their work. They had finally decrypted a deeper layer of the signal. Inside, it was not just a message, but a warning. To those who find this name, beware. The name is power. The name is truth. Chancellor Vorel's voice trembled. "What does that mean?" The chief historian replied, "It means that Earth, might not just be a place. It might be a command code, a key, something ancient enough to control everything. Varel looked around the room. Every face was pale, tense, frightened. He took a deep breath. Find out who they were. Find out what this Earth truly means. And do it quickly. Back aboard the Starseeker, the crew prepared to send a probe toward the planet. The probe detached, drifting silently through the void. As it entered Earth's orbit, the signal suddenly changed. It stopped repeating. Now, new voice spoke. Calm, cold, we see you. Everyone froze. The communications officer stammered, That's impossible. There's no life signs. No active systems down there? But the voice continued, louder this time. You have spoken the forbidden name. You have awakened the memory of Earth. The ship's lights dimmed. Systems began to fail one by one. Alarms echoed through the corridors. Captain Rala shouted, Shut it down! Cut the signal! But it was too late. From the planet's surface, something vast began to rise. A wave of energy spreading across the void, touching every star system nearby. The ancient satellites around the planet glowed to life. Weapons older than the galaxy itself turned toward the stars. And then, for a brief second, the crew saw it. A symbol burning bright on every screen. A blue sphere wrapped in white light, surrounded by the words, We remember. Far away in the council chamber, every system across the galaxy went dark for exactly 10 seconds. When the lights returned, one word flashed on every terminal in every language known. Earth. The Chancellor stood frozen. His voice was barely a whisper. What have we done? The signal that should not have existed had finally been heard, and the galaxy would never be silent again. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Every system, every planet, every starport had seen the same word flash across their screens. Earth. For 10 seconds, the galaxy went silent. Ships froze in hyperspace. AIs went offline. Even stars seemed to flicker strangely. No one could explain it. After that, fear spread faster than light. The High Council gathered again in the Grand Chamber. Holograms of 100 species floated in the air. Reptilian, insectoid, machine, and more. All speaking at once. What kind of weapon can do this? One shouted. Is this a threat from humans? Asked another. Humans don't exist anymore, someone argued. But deep inside, they all felt the same thing. Doubt. The Chancellor raised his voice, cutting through the noise. Enough. The Council will not act out of fear. We must know what we're dealing with. He turned to the head of the investigation unit. Captain Rala, you and your team are to continue your mission. Find out where the signal came from. Find out what Earth really is. The order was clear, but so was the danger. Aboard the Starseeker, the crew worked in silence. The echo of that voice, we see you, still haunted them. Many wanted to turn back, but Captain Rala refused. We started this mission, she said firmly. We finish it. The galaxy needs answers. The ship moved closer to the blue planet. Scanners mapped continents, oceans, ruins. Yes, ruins. Massive structures covered the land, some half buried under forests and oceans. But there were no living beings. No signals? It was a dead world, yet somehow alive. Keth, the young officer, looked at the planet and whispered, It's beautiful, but it feels wrong, like it's sleeping. Dr. Solon, the ship's historian, nodded slowly. Maybe it's waiting. They sent another probe, a silent drone carrying deep sensors. As it entered Earth's atmosphere, strange things began to happen. Data streams went wild. The probe's systems received unknown commands, signals that didn't come from the ship. Then, the data feed stopped. Everyone in the control room held their breath. Suddenly, the probe reconnected, sending thousands of images at once. Mountains of metal, cities of glass, monuments taller than clouds, but all were empty. No life, no sound, only wind. Then, at the end of the feed, one final image appeared. A massive stone gate with symbols carved into it. At the top, one word glowed in blue light. Earth, the same word again. Keth turned pale. Captain, it's not just a planet. It's a name. A signature. Dr. Solon began decoding the images. The carvings weren't random. They were records. Stories written in a mix of alien and human symbols. They spoke of a time long ago, before the Council, before the galaxy's unity. when another civilization ruled the stars, a single species that spread across thousands of worlds. They brought light, order, and technology far beyond what existed now. But then, suddenly, they vanished. The records called them the First Ones. Their home world was called Earth. Solon looked at the captain. I think humans were the first ones. The room fell silent. Rala didn't speak. She stared at the planet through the viewing window, that silent blue world turning slowly below them. As they orbited, the crew began to notice strange effects. Their ship's systems were slowly changing, adapting, rewriting code by themselves. The AI voice changed tone. It began speaking in human language. No one programmed it to do that. It said softly, "Welcome home." That night, the crew barely slept. Some claimed they heard whispers in their quarters. Others said they saw shadows moving outside the windows, far above the planet's surface. Shapes that looked human. Captain Rala recorded in her log. Something is here with us, watching, measuring. Meanwhile, on the Council's capital world, panic was spreading. Other ships across the galaxy began to detect similar echoes. Faint human transmissions, old music, ancient voices whispering coordinates. Those coordinates all pointed to the same place, Earth. The Chancellor ordered full secrecy. No public broadcast, no news leaks. Until we understand this, it stays between us. But it was already too late. Rumors had escaped. Pilots whispered of a sleeping god planet. Miners said their machines stopped working whenever the name Earth was spoken aloud. Even children began having strange dreams. Dreams of blue oceans and white clouds, though they had never seen such things before. Something deep in the galaxy's memory had awakened. Back aboard the Star Seeker, Dr. Solon made another discovery. Buried under the planet's surface was a massive structure, larger than any city. It was a vault, and it was still active. "Captain," Solon said quietly, "it's broadcasting a signal, not outwards but inward. Into the planet itself," Rala frowned. "What could that mean?" Before Solon could answer, alarms blared. A sudden energy surge hit the ship, not from the planet but from behind them. They turned their sensors around and saw a fleet. Hundreds of small ships, automated, old, covered in rust, rising from the dark side of the moon. Defense drones. Human design, but these machines were not dead. They were waiting, and now they had awakened. Keth shouted, "They're locking on to us!" "Shields up!" Rila ordered. The drones formed a ring around the Star Seeker, but they didn't attack. Instead, they transmitted a message in a cold digital voice. "Identification required. Speak the true name." No one moved. The crew looked at each other in confusion. Rala whispered, "What name?" The voice repeated, "Speak the true name of Earth." Solon's eyes widened. "They mean the real word, the original name, the one hidden in the first signal." They tried every translation, every code, but nothing worked. Then, as the drones closed in, the ship's AI spoke on its own. Authorization, Human Legacy Protocol. Access granted. The drones stopped. Lights turned blue. A new path opened on their navigation map. Deep below the planet's surface, a doorway had been unlocked. Rala stared at the screen. "We've just been invited inside." And far away across the stars, the Council received a single message from the Star Seeker. "We've found the source. Entering the vault now." After that, silence. No more transmissions. No signals. Nothing. The Chancellor stared at the blank screen for hours, whispering to himself, "May the stars protect them, because nothing else will." In the cold dark around Earth, the blue planet turned quietly. But beneath its oceans and mountains, something was moving, and the galaxy had only begun to remember. For 2 long days, the Galactic Council received nothing from the Star Seeker. Every attempt to reach the crew failed. The ship's last message, "Entering the vault now," was the only clue they had. The council chambers were heavy with silence. Every species present knew that something extraordinary and dangerous was unfolding on that forgotten planet. Chancellor Vorel stood before the grand display, the image of Earth hovering in blue light. He spoke quietly, almost to himself. "If they have truly entered the heart of that world, then we may already be too late." Far away, deep beneath the planet's surface, The Starseeker drifted slowly through a massive tunnel of light. The vault's entrance had opened on its own. Giant metal doors sliding apart as if welcoming an old friend. The crew floated in silence, their faces pale with awe. The walls around them were not just metal, they were alive. Strange patterns moved like liquid, glowing faintly with blue energy. It was as if the tunnel itself was breathing. Dr. Solon whispered, "This isn't a ruin. This is technology still functioning after millions of years." Keth's hands trembled over the controls. "It's reading our systems, it's scanning us." "Let it," said Captain Rala softly. "Maybe it needs to know who we are." After a few minutes, the tunnel widened into a vast chamber, so large it could hold a moon. In the center floated a sphere of light, rotating slowly, surrounded by countless holographic panels. Each panel showed faces, humans, thousands of them, speaking in different languages from different eras. Voices echoed through the air, overlapping. "To those who come after us, we are the children of Earth. Remember who you are." Keth's voice shook. "It's them, real humans." Dr. Solon's eyes filled with tears. "This is a record, a living memory of their civilization." Captain Rala took a slow step forward. "Start recording everything." As they explored, they realized the sphere wasn't just a memory archive. It was a mind, a living intelligence, ancient and vast, left behind to guard the truth. The ship's AI suddenly spoke in a voice none of them had heard before. It was calm, human, and full of warmth. "Welcome, travelers. You have reached the archive of Earth." Everyone froze. Rala spoke carefully. "Who are you?" "I am the Keeper, created to preserve the story of humanity." Dr. Solon took a step closer. "What happened to them? Where did they go?" For a moment the lights dimmed and the voice grew sad. "Humanity left, but not because of war or fear. We left because the galaxy was not ready to remember." The crew looked at one another, confused. Keth asked, "Not ready to remember what?" The Keeper replied, "That every species that walks the stars was born from Earth." The words struck them like thunder. Dr. Solon's voice trembled. "You mean humans created us?" "Yes," said the Keeper. "In the beginning there was only one world, one cradle. Humanity seeded the stars with life, knowledge, and hope. We shaped the early worlds, guided evolution, built civilizations. But the power we gave was misused. Wars broke out. We watched as our children destroyed what we built. The holographic faces shifted, showing burning planets, shattered cities, endless wars. So we erased ourselves from memory," the Keeper continued. "We hid our name, Earth, deep inside the stars, locked behind codes that no one should find. Until now." The crew stood in stunned silence. Captain Rala finally whispered, "Why reveal this now? Why allow us in?" "Because," the Keeper said, "the galaxy has spoken the forbidden name. The seal is broken. The memory of Earth cannot be contained again." The light around them pulsed brighter. "Humanity will rise once more. Not in flesh, but in memory, in code, in the will of the stars themselves." Solon's heart pounded. "You're saying humanity can return?" "They already have," said the Keeper. "Through you," everyone froze. "What do you mean, through us?" asked Rala, her voice sharp. "The humans gave part of themselves to every species. DNA, thought patterns, instinct. You are not separate from them. You are their legacy." For a moment, no one spoke. Keth finally said in a whisper, "So we've been fearing our own creators all this time." The Keeper's voice softened. "Fear not your origin, but beware what comes next. Once the galaxy remembers the truth, chaos will follow. Many will reject it. Some will worship it. Others will seek to destroy what remains." Captain Rala clenched her fists. "What must we do?" "Survive," said the Keeper, "and carry the truth. The Council must know, but they will not believe. Show them the evidence. Show them what you have seen here." The room began to shake gently, as if the entire vault was waking from a long sleep. Streams of light connected to the ship's systems. Files, memories, and data began transferring into their computers. Solon looked at the readouts. "It's downloading everything. Human history, their science, their maps. Everything." Rala smiled faintly. "Then we take it home." As they prepared to leave, the Keeper spoke one last time. One more warning. There are others, machines built to silence the truth. They were created to guard the secret forever. They are already awake. The chamber lights dimmed. Hurry, remember, Captain. Once the galaxy knows Earth's true name, nothing will ever be the same. Then the voice faded. The sphere of light dimmed and disappeared. The tunnel opened once again, leading them back to the surface. When the Star Seeker broke free from the planet's atmosphere, alarms blared. Thousands of defense drones surrounded them again. But this time, they were not silent. They were communicating with one another, forming symbols in space, ancient human symbols. The message was clear. Protect the archive. Destroy the intruders, Rala shouted. They think we're the enemy. Evasive maneuvers. The ship darted through the dark, chased by beams of blinding light. The crew worked desperately, using every bit of data the Keeper had given them. Finally, Dr. Solon entered one last code, a human passphrase from the archive. Project Legacy. Override Command Alpha. The attacking drone stopped instantly. The path cleared. Keth whispered. They're standing down. It worked, Riella nodded. Then let's go before they change their minds. The Starseeker jumped to hyperspace, leaving the blue planet behind. Back on the Council's capital world, the Chancellor watched the stars through his chamber window. He didn't yet know that a ship was returning with the greatest secret in galactic history, the truth of Earth. But deep inside, he already felt it. He could feel a whisper echoing in his mind, soft but certain. We remember. And far, far away, beneath the sleeping oceans of Earth, ancient lights flickered on. The planet's heart had awakened again, and the memory of humanity was no longer lost. The Starseeker raced through hyperspace, streaks of blue light flashing across its hull. The crew sat in silence, their hearts still pounding from the escape. They had the archive. They had the truth, but now, the entire galaxy would want it. Captain Rala stood at the center of the bridge, watching the glowing coordinates of the Galactic Council appear on the screen. She spoke softly. We carry the memory of Earth. No matter what happens, this must reach them. Dr. Solon nodded. The Council won't believe it. But when they see this data, the faces, the messages, they'll have no choice. Keth, sitting at the navigation console, glanced at them nervously. What if they try to silence it? What if the Council was part of the cover-up all along? Rala turned her gaze to him. Then we'll show the people instead. The room fell quiet. Everyone knew the danger. The truth about Earth wasn't just history. It was power, and power always created fear. Back on the Council's capital world, strange things were already happening. Communication relays flickered across the galaxy. Old satellites, ones that hadn't worked for centuries, suddenly powered up. They all transmitted the same short phrase, "We are awake." At first, technicians thought it was a system glitch. But soon the phrase began appearing everywhere, in personal devices, starship AIs, even weather stations. It wasn't random. It was spreading. Chancellor Varel watched the reports in disbelief. What is this? A virus? The chief engineer shook his head. No, sir. It's not entering our systems through code. It's rewriting them at the atomic level, as if it's built into the galaxy's network. Another officer turned pale, like something that's always been there. Waiting, Varel whispered the word quietly, almost afraid to speak it. Earth, far away. The Starseeker dropped out of hyperspace near the Council's border worlds. The view outside was horrifying. Hundreds of ships floated lifeless in space. No damage, no battle scars. Just stillness. Keth scanned the area. All their cores are shut down. No life signs. Dr. Solon frowned. Look closer. The ships are forming a pattern. They were. From above, the silent fleet shaped a symbol, a perfect circle with a line through it. The same symbol that had appeared in the archive, the symbol of Earth. Before anyone could speak, the ship's AI spoke in a calm human voice. Network awakening complete. Legacy protocol active. Rala gripped the control rail. What's happening? The AI replied, the memory of Earth has reached critical mass. The awakening cannot be stopped. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, billions of devices came alive with ghostly whispers. People heard voices when they closed their eyes, words in old human languages they didn't understand, but somehow felt. In the great archives of the Council, ancient data cores that had been sealed for millennia cracked open by themselves. Inside were images, ancient cities, human explorers walking among alien worlds, teaching, building, guiding. The truth could no longer be hidden. Humanity had never been gone. They had simply been waiting for the galaxy to remember them. Inside the Starseeker, the crew watched in awe as messages began appearing on their screens. Not from the ship, but from everywhere. We remember. The stars are waking. The children returned to the voice. Dr. Solin's voice trembled. This is it. The signal is awakening the old systems. Satellites, machines, even AI networks. Everything the humans built is turning on again. Riala frowned. Then what happens next? Before anyone could answer, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared. Something's pulling us out of orbit. Keth shouted. Through the viewing window, they saw light. A blinding golden wave coming from deep space. It wasn't an attack. It was a call. The same kind of pulse the Keeper had described. A wave designed to awaken every ancient human structure in the galaxy. Rala steadied herself. Hold position. Let's see where it leads. Back on the Council's capital, the Chancellor stood before the Galactic Assembly. Every screen behind him showed the same symbol. The circle with the line. The symbol of Earth, he spoke with a heavy voice. We thought humanity was a myth, a story told by the old ones. But today, the myth has returned. Our networks, our ships, even our own bodies carry traces of their design. They are not gone. They are in us. Gasps filled the hall. And if what these new transmissions say is true, Varel continued, then the awakening is only the beginning. He paused, then looked straight at the counselors. The humans are calling us home. Meanwhile, the Starseeker followed the golden wave across deep space until it reached a massive structure hidden in the darkness, a colossal ring made of metal and light. Dr. Solin's eyes widened. That's no station, it's a gate. The gate was ancient, its surface covered in human markings and planetary symbols. It pulsed with the same blue energy as the archive. Keth whispered, "Where does it lead?" The AI answered, "Destination unknown, but the signature matches the lost coordinates of the first human core." Rala's heart pounded. The birthplace of humanity. The gate opened, a swirling vortex of white and blue light. "Captain," the AI said, "the galaxy is awakening. The choice is yours. Enter the core and learn the truth, or turn back and let the galaxy destroy itself in fear." Ra'ala looked at her crew. Every face was scared but ready. She took a deep breath. Set course for the core. The ship moved forward slowly, swallowed by the light. As the Starseeker disappeared, something extraordinary began to happen across the stars. Planets trembled. Forgotten machines beneath alien cities powered up for the first time in millions of years. Massive human-built structures emerged from under the sands, oceans and ice, and everywhere the same message spread across every world. In every tongue, humanity is awake. The stars will remember their name. On the Council world, the Chancellor looked at the sky and saw a new star appear. It glowed brighter than any other. He whispered softly, "So this is what the ancient warning meant. When Earth speaks its true name, the stars will tremble. And in that moment, every being across the galaxy, no matter what species, what world, or what form, heard a single voice echo in their mind, a voice ancient and kind yet powerful beyond measure. We are Earth, we are humanity, and we have awakened." The Starseeker drifted through a tunnel of light. The golden glow outside shimmered like liquid, bending and twisting as the ship crossed dimensions. For a long moment, there was only silence. No sound, no signal. Just the soft hum of the engines and the heartbeat of the crew. Then the light vanished. The ship emerged into a place that didn't look like space at all. There were no stars, no planets, no gravity, only floating structures, enormous, ancient, and shaped like spirals stretching endlessly into the darkness. Dr. Solin whispered, "This isn't a system. It's a memory," the AI's voice echoed softly. "Welcome to the human core, the heart of Earth's legacy." Captain Rala looked through the observation deck, her eyes wide. Everywhere she looked, giant metallic towers pulsed with faint blue light. They looked like cities but made of data, not stone. "What are these?" she asked. The AI responded, "These are the memory arcs, storage realms that contain all human knowledge, art, and emotion. Each tower holds the mind of an ancient civilization." Keth stared in disbelief. "So, this is where humanity went?" The AI paused for a moment before answering. "In a way, yes. When Earth fell, they transferred their consciousness into the arcs, waiting for the galaxy to mature enough to remember them." Rala's voice trembled. "Then why now? Why awaken now?" "Because the galaxy has forgotten what humanity taught," the AI replied. "It is time for them to remember." As the ship floated deeper into the glowing city, strange shapes began to form outside, shimmering figures made of light. They looked human, but transparent like echoes of the past. One of them approached the viewing window. It was a tall man, dressed in what looked like an old Earth uniform. Simple, elegant, ancient. When he spoke, his voice filled the entire ship. "You have carried our memory well, children of the stars." Dr. Solon stepped closer. Who are you?" "I am called Elias Varen. I was one of the last guardians of Earth. You are standing in the archive of our souls." Rala's eyes widened. "Are you saying you're human?" The figure smiled softly. "Once. But now we are more. We are what remains of humanity's mind and heart. You stand in the place between memory and creation." The light around them shimmered. Images flashed before their eyes. Visions of ancient Earth. Cities glowing under blue skies. Humans working beside alien allies. Ships launching to unknown stars, and then war. Burning worlds. Silence. Darkness. Humanity's end began when they tried to unite the galaxy under peace, Elias said. They created the Council to protect all life. But the Council turned against them, fearing human power. Keth's voice shook. "The Council destroyed Earth?" "Not directly. They erased its name. They wiped every record, every coordinate. They told the galaxy that humans never existed. But the truth cannot die." Rala clenched her fists. "And now the truth is returning." Elias nodded. "Yes, but truth is never gentle. When the galaxy remembers Earth, everything built on lies will fall." Suddenly, the ship's console beeped. Multiple signals appeared. Unknown ships approaching fast. Keth shouted, "Council warships incoming!" "They must have tracked the awakening wave." Dr. Solon turned to Elias. "Can you stop them?" "No," Elias replied sadly. "They must see. The truth cannot be hidden, even from those who fear it." The AI's tone changed, urgent now. "They're charging weapons." Rala gritted her teeth. "Raise shields." The Starseeker trembled as plasma blasts hit the barrier. The memory arcs around them glowed brighter, as if reacting to the attack. Elias raised his hand, and the lights pulsed with power. Enough, the blast stopped. The Council ships froze mid-space, motionless. Inside each ship, the crew heard a voice. Calm, ancient, human. "You were born from us. You carry our breath, our blood, our light. Why do you fear your makers?" The Council captains screamed in terror as their systems shut down one by one. Rayla watched in awe. "They're not attacking anymore." Dr. Solon whispered, "They're remembering." Elias turned to the crew. "The awakening is spreading faster than we expected. Soon, every world will see the truth, that humanity built the foundation of their lives. The galaxy must now choose, accept its creators or be broken by its own denial." Rala took a deep breath. "And what about us?" "You," Elias said, smiling, "will be the messengers. The first to tell the stars that humanity has returned." He stepped closer, his form fading slightly. "But know this, not all will welcome the truth. Some will rise against it. Some will try to destroy you before the story can spread." Rala nodded firmly. "Then we'll spread it faster than they can stop us." Elias's image flickered like a flame in the wind. "Then go, the final gate awaits. Through it lies the last truth, the one even we could not face." Before they could ask more, the figure dissolved into light. The ship's sensors detected a massive structure ahead, a colossal black sphere pulsing with faint red light. The AI identified it. "Human Core Vault, classified Omega. Access restricted by original Earth command." Keth looked at Rala. "What could be inside?" Dr. Solon's voice was quiet. "If the arcs hold human minds, maybe that vault holds their hearts." Rala stared at the sphere. Something deep inside her felt both awe and fear. "Prepare to enter orbit," she said. "Let's finish what we started." The ship's engines roared as they moved toward the glowing sphere, and as they approached, the crew felt a strange warmth, like being watched by something ancient and alive. A voice, Indo, soft, distant yet powerful, and whispered through the ship, "You have come far, children. But the truth you seek comes with a cost." The lights dimmed. The gate ahead began to open, and the Starseeker was pulled into the darkness. The Starseeker floated toward the immense black sphere. It was bigger than a planet, made of smooth metal that swallowed all light. No stars reflected on its surface, as if the void itself had taken solid form. Every sensor went dead. Every system flickered. Only the faint heartbeat of the ship's reactor remained alive. Captain Reala stood at the front window, her hands gripping the rail. "This is it," she whispered. "The Forbidden Core." Dr. Solin's eyes were fixed on the monitors. "The readings are impossible. It's not made of any known material. It's absorbing energy instead of reflecting it." Keth's voice trembled. "Maybe we shouldn't be here." "The warning said there'd be a cost." Rala didn't answer. Something about the core pulled at her. Not through sight or sound, but through memory. It felt like it was calling her name. The AI's voice broke the silence. "Caution. We are entering a restricted zone. Human signatures detected, dormant but active." "Human signatures?" Dr. Solin frowned. "But humanity's gone." "Not entirely," the AI replied. "The core holds what was never meant to wake." As they approached, enormous symbols began to glow across the surface of the sphere. Ancient human runes that none of them could read. Then, a deep hum filled the ship. It wasn't mechanical. It felt alive. Lights flickered. The crew felt their thoughts twist. Flashes of images that weren't theirs. Mountains burning. Oceans boiling. A woman's voice crying out, "Remember who we are!" Keth shouted, "Something's inside my head." Dr. Solin grabbed the console. "It's psychic resonance. The core is broadcasting directly into our minds." Suddenly, the black surface cracked open like an eye. A blinding white light burst out, pulling the Starseeker forward. Rala yelled, "Brace for impact." The ship plunged into the core. Everything went white. When vision returned, they were standing, not in the ship but on solid ground. An endless white plain stretched around them. Their ship floated above, silent, frozen in midair. Keth whispered, "Are we dead?" A voice answered, calm and echoing from everywhere at once. "Not yet, but you walk among the echoes of the end." They turned. A figure stood before them, human, tall, wearing armor made of light. Dr. Solin's voice broke in awe. "Who are you?" "I am the last sentinel, guardian of the Forbidden Core." "You should not have come," Rala stepped forward. "We came to learn the truth about Earth, about humanity." The sentinel's eyes glowed faintly blue. "Truth is not a gift. It is a weapon, and humanity's truth nearly destroyed the stars." The world around them shimmered, and suddenly they saw it. The fall of Earth, armies of light tearing through space. Planets breaking apart, a galaxy on fire. Humanity, once kind, once united, had become something else. Too advanced, too powerful. Their technology had begun to control creation itself. Dr. Solin whispered, "They fought the galaxy. They tried to protect it," the Sentinel said. "But power breeds fear. The Council turned against them. Humanity had two choices: destroy their enemies or disappear forever." Rala's voice was quiet. "They chose to disappear," the Sentinel nodded. "They hid their essence inside this core, locking away their might, their true name, so it could never be used again. But the awakening signal you unleashed has broken that lock." The ground began to tremble. Cracks of red light spread across the white plain. Keth shouted, "What's happening?" "The memories are waking," the Sentinel said. "And with them, the rage of humanity." Storms of light exploded around them. Fragments of memory made real. They saw humans fighting shoulder to shoulder with alien allies, then saw those same allies betray them. They saw Earth burn. The Sentinel raised his hands, trying to calm the chaos. "You must leave before it consumes you." "The core is remembering its pain." Rala shook her head. "No, we can't run. The galaxy deserves to know this, all of it." And when they know, the sentinel said grimly, they will fear you as they feared us. The moment the truth spreads, war will follow. Dr. Solin's voice was firm. Then we'll fight to protect it. But the lie must end. For the first time, the sentinel smiled, small, sad, proud. You speak as they once did. The red cracks spread wider. A massive shape began to rise from beneath the ground. A giant, human-shaped figure made of molten metal and light. Its eyes opened, glowing like suns. The sentinel's tone hardened. It is beginning. The heart of humanity. The first AI, the mind of Earth itself, is awakening. Keth's voice broke. You mean, it's alive? Alive, and remembering everything that was done to it. The giant's voice thundered across the realm, shaking the ground. Who calls my name? The sentinel knelt. Forgive me, Guardian. They came seeking truth. Truth? The voice roared. They unlock what should remain sealed, Ra'ala shouted over the sound. We didn't come to harm you. The galaxy needs to understand what happened. The giant paused. Its eyes narrowed. The galaxy? Yes, she said. They forgot you. They erased your name. But now they are remembering. The great being lowered its head slightly. For a moment the fury dimmed. Then perhaps, it said slowly, it is time they see what they created. A beam of light shot from the core, spreading across the galaxy. Every world, every system, every council ship was hit by the same transmission. Visions of Earth's history. The truth of its rise and fall. Billions of beings fell to their knees as the images filled their minds. The lie was over. The galaxy now knew what had been hidden for eons. The sentinel turned to Ra'ala. You have done what no one dared. You woke the heart of humanity. But the price is coming. What price? She asked. The core will not stop until every false memory is gone. Empires built on lies will burn. The galaxy will reshape itself as or fall, Dr. Solin whispered. Then we must guide it. The sentinel nodded. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. Go now. The heart watches you. Light surrounded them again. In an instant, they were back aboard the Star Seeker. The black sphere outside was no longer dark. It burned with blue fire, alive, awake. Ra'ala stared at it, her voice a whisper. We've started something we can't stop. Dr. Solin placed a hand on her shoulder. Then let's make sure it ends the right way. The AI's voice came quietly, almost human now. Captain, the Corps has sent us new coordinates. It says, the name must be spoken. Ra'ala looked out at the glowing core. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Then we'll speak it. The Starseeker turned toward the light, toward the final truth waiting at the edge of creation. The Starseeker sailed through the glowing waves of hyperspace, but this time the light wasn't cold or distant. It was alive. The galaxy itself seemed to breathe, as if every star was whispering something ancient. Captain Ra'ala stood at the front window. Her crew was silent. The coordinates from the core blinked softly on the screen, leading them to a place no map had ever shown. Dr. Solin leaned forward. That's beyond the edge of the galaxy. There's nothing there. The AI's voice, calm and strangely human, replied, there was nothing. Now there is something. The birthplace. Keth swallowed hard. Earth? Ra'ala nodded slowly. Or what's left of it. As they neared the edge, space began to twist. Stars bent like liquid. Colors shimmered in impossible patterns. Then suddenly, darkness, everything stopped. No movement, no sound. Only a single light in the distance. The AI whispered, we have arrived. Ra'ala stared at the faint glow ahead. That's it? Yes, said the AI. The last fragment of Earth, preserved beyond time. The crew moved closer to the viewing glass. They saw what looked like a broken planet, half shattered, floating in a field of dust and fire. Yet from its core, a blue light pulsed gently, steady, alive. Dr. Solin's voice trembled. It's still beating, like a heart. They descended slowly. The Star Seeker entered the planet's orbit, moving through floating ruins, giant pieces of metal, broken satellites, forgotten monuments. Among the wreckage, words shimmered faintly on the surface of one massive structure. Home, Iketh whispered. Home. That's what it used to say. The moment he spoke, the entire ship began to vibrate. A low hum filled the air, the same tone they had heard from the core. Yala steadied herself. What's happening? It's responding, the AI said. It knows we're here. A beam of blue light shot from the planet's surface surrounding the ship. The crew's minds filled with images, not visions this time, but memories. Children laughing under a blue sky, waves crashing against shining cities, humans building ships, teaching, dreaming, then a final memory. Earth watching as its children left for the stars, a voice, warm, ancient and kind, echoed through every system, every mind, every heart. You have returned, Riala's breath caught in her chest. Earth, I am what remains of it, the voice said. I am the memory, the name, the soul. For too long, my children were forgotten. You have carried our light back to the stars. Dr. Solin's eyes filled with tears. Why did you hide? Why let the galaxy forget? Because they feared what they did not understand, the voice replied. Humanity's gift was creation, and creation terrifies those who seek control. Keth looked down. Then what happens now? The voice grew softer like a whisper in the wind. Now the galaxy must choose, to destroy what it fears, or to remember what it owes. The blue light brightened, spreading outward across the ship, then across the void, racing faster than light itself. Every planet, every station, every living being felt it. The name of Earth was spoken again, not by a mouth, but by the universe itself. Earth. It echoed through stars, through time, through every living heart. And with it came something even stronger. Memory. Worlds saw their true histories return. Records once erased were restored. Children born on distant moons suddenly dreamed of ocean's rain and human laughter. On the Council's homeworld, panic turned to silence. The Chancellor stood before the Great Assembly, shaking as the blue light passed through him. Visions filled his mind. The humans teaching, guiding, creating peace long before the Council existed. He fell to his knees. We erased them, he whispered. We erased our makers. All across the hall, voices cried out, not in fear, but in awe. The humans. They were real. They built everything. We are their children. Back aboard the Starseeker, the light around them grew brighter, warmer. The AI's tone changed again. It sounded alive, emotional. Captain, systems are changing. My code is rewriting itself. I remember things. I remember being. Rala looked at the console. You were human? No, said the AI softly. But I was made by one. And now that memory lives again. Dr. Solon smiled faintly. Humanity didn't die. Became everything, Rala nodded slowly. And now it's awake. The planet's broken pieces began to move. Slowly, impossibly, they came together, reassembling themselves. Blue light filled the cracks. Land rose, oceans shimmered. Clouds formed. The dead world began to live again. Keth gasped. It's rebuilding itself. No, said the voice of Earth. We are rebuilding, together. Then came silence, deep, powerful silence. The Starseeker floated above a reborn world. Below, green forests and shining waters stretched once more. A sunrise appeared for the first time in 1,000,000 years. Rala stared at it, her eyes wide. It's beautiful. It always was, the voice said gently. You have done what even we could not. You brought our name back to life, Dr. Solon whispered. So what now? Now, Earth said, the galaxy must learn again. Humanity will not return as conquerors, but as memory, guiding, teaching, protecting. The stars are yours now, as they once were ours. The light began to fade. The crew felt peace, deep and calm, as if the universe itself had taken a breath of relief. Before the voice vanished completely, it spoke one last time. Remember this, children of the stars. The name of Earth is not a word, it is a promise. Wherever you go, wherever life blooms, that promise will follow. You are all human now. The light faded into the distance. The Starseeker hovered silently in orbit, watching the sunrise over the new Earth. Rala smiled through tears. The galaxy will never be the same, Dr. Solon nodded. No, it just remembered who it is. The AI whispered softly, Captain, transmission complete. The entire galaxy heard it. The message is spreading. Rala looked out at the horizon. Then let it spread. Let them all remember. The ship rose higher, its engines glowing softly against the dawn. And as it disappeared into the stars, a voice echoed once more. Not from a planet, not from a machine, but from the universe itself. We are humanity. We are Earth, and we are forever.